Once, in the heart of Paris, there lived a young woman named Mathilde Loisel. She was beautiful, graceful, and quietly certain that she was meant for more than what life had offered her. But life had made a cruel mistake with her. She was not born into wealth or nobility, but into a poor family of clerks. People who counted coins instead of collecting jewels. She had no dowry, no name, no fortune, nothing that opened the golden doors she dreamed of. And so she married a kind, ordinary man, Monsieur Loisel, a humble clerk at the Ministry of Education. He loved her tenderly, content with their modest life. But she loved a dream. Every day, Mathilde's mind wandered far from their small apartment, to glittering halls and grand ballrooms, to silk gowns and shining jewels, to the life she felt was meant for her. Sometimes, at night, she would close her eyes and imagine herself seated at a long dining table. Crystal glasses, silver plates, laughter and perfume in the air. And she, the queen among them all, admired, envied, adored. But when her eyes opened, she saw only bare walls and a single candle flickering in the dark. She felt cheated by fate, as if beauty itself had been wasted on the poor. Then one evening, her husband came home later than usual, his face alight with excitement. In his hand, a large envelope. He smiled like a man holding a secret treasure. "Look, Mathilde, an invitation to a grand ball at the minister's palace." It was everything she had ever dreamed of. Music, lights, beauty, power. But instead of joy, her face fell. "What do you expect me to wear to something like that? I have no dress, no jewels. I would look poor among those women." Her husband's smile faded. He had imagined her delight, but saw only her disappointment. He paused, then asked softly, "How much would a proper dress cost?" Her voice came low, almost ashamed. 400 francs. He froze. 400 francs. The exact sum he had saved for a hunting rifle. His small dream. But love doesn't count the cost. He nodded gently. "Very well, my dear. Buy your dress." And in that moment, he gave up his dream, to give her hers. Days passed. The dress was ready, elegant, flowing, perfect. When Mathilde tried it on, it was as though her reflection bowed to her. Yet she sighed again. "I have no jewels, no sparkle. I shall look like a poor woman among the rich." Her husband smiled, patient as always. "Why not ask your friend, Madame Forestier, to lend you something?" Her eyes lit up. Of course. Why hadn't she thought of that before? The next day, she visited her wealthy friend. Madame Forestier's home was the kind Mathilde often dreamed of. High ceilings, golden curtains, soft perfume in the air. Every surface gleamed. Every sound whispered luxury. When Madame Forestier entered, Mathilde's heart tightened. Not with hatred, but admiration. After polite greetings, she spoke shyly. "Jean, I've been invited to a ball, but I have no jewels. Could you lend me something?" Her friend smiled kindly. "Of course, my dear. You only had to ask." She crossed the room and opened a large chest lined with red velvet. Inside was treasures beyond words. Bracelets of gold and silver. Pearls like morning light. Rubies that glowed like fire. And then Mathilde saw it. A diamond necklace, a cascade of fire and light. It shimmered, as though alive. Her breath caught. "May I borrow this one?" Madame Forestier smiled. "Of course." Mathilde clasped it around her neck. For the first time, she didn't feel poor. She felt radiant. And her reflection whispered, "You belong." The night of the ball. Ah, what a night! The palace blazed with light. Crystal chandeliers poured fire upon the floor. Music rose like laughter. Dresses shimmered. Diamonds danced. And Mathilde was the brightest of them all. Every head turned. Every whisper spoke her name. Men begged to dance with her. Women stared, half envy, half admiration. Even the minister himself noticed her grace. She danced. She laughed. She forgot the world. For a few glorious hours, she lived inside her dream. But dreams, no matter how bright, fade with dawn. When she returned home at dawn, exhausted but glowing, she threw off her wrap and gasped. The necklace was gone. Panic. She searched her dress, the floor, the carriage. Her husband ran into the icy streets of Paris, searching, begging, retracing every step. But it was gone. They wrote to Madame Forestier, saying the clasp had broken. A lie to buy time. But time has a cruel price. They searched every jeweler in the city until they found one identical to the lost necklace. Its cost 36,000 francs. He had 18,000. The rest they borrowed. From lenders, from strangers, from anyone who would listen. When they finally placed the new necklace back in its box and returned it, Madame Forestier smiled, kind, unsuspecting, never knowing the price just paid. Mathilde sighed with relief, but the cost of her beauty had just begun. The years that followed were cruel. They sold their furniture, dismissed their maid, moved into a small attic with cold walls and low ceilings. Mathilde learned to scrub floors, wash clothes, and haul water. Her soft hands grew rough. Her beauty faded. Her husband worked late into the night, copying documents for coins. And together, they paid their debts. Coin by coin, day by day, year by year. For 10 long years. By the end of it, Mathilde was a shadow of herself. But beneath her weariness was a quiet pride, the kind that comes not from beauty, but from endurance. They had paid all their debts. One Sunday, while walking through the park, Mathilde saw a woman, elegant, radiant, unchanged by time. Madame Forestier. Mathilde hesitated, then stepped forward. "Good day, Jean." Her friend blinked. "I'm sorry. I don't recognize you." "It's me, Mathilde Loisel." "Oh, my poor Mathilde. What happened to you?" asked Madame Forestier. "I've had a hard life. All because of you." Madame Forestier was confused. "Because of me?" "Yes, because of you," Mathilde replied her. "Do you remember that diamond necklace you lent me? I lost it and replaced it. We spent 10 years paying for it." Madame Forestier whispered, "You replaced it?" "Oh, my poor Mathilde. My necklace was paste. It was worth 500 francs at most." And in that moment, Mathilde understood. 10 years of pain for nothing. A lifetime of struggle for the price of pride. How strange life is. How small a thing can change everything. Mathilde's story isn't just about a lost necklace. It's about how pride can make us blind to what we already have. She had love, a home, and beauty. But she wanted more and lost everything chasing it. The real tragedy wasn't the necklace. It was her reflection in the mirror of envy. So when you find yourself wishing for more, remember this. What shines isn't always gold. And what you have may already be the treasure you seek. If this story spoke to you, share it and remind someone today that gratitude is the real gold.